Hi, boys and girls. Well, before we read a book about inclined planes or ramps, and we were talking about inclined planes or ramps with your toys. We're going to take a look at some other inclined planes. So, we're going to read a book called What Are Inclined Planes? I see the what, so I know that is an asking word. So what will I find at the end of our title? Yep, you guessed it, a question mark. So now I know this title is an asking sentence. What are inclined planes? And it's written by Helen Frost. Wow, I see a 3D shape on here. Do you see it? Yeah, the sphere. And it looks like it's rolling down an inclined plane. Well, let's take a look and see if we can find some other inclined planes. What are inclined planes? Ooh, there's something here. Wonder if you recognize what that is. If you have ever been to a theme park or a big fair or a big park where there are amusement rides, then you will find this is a roller coaster, and it has a lot of inclined planes along the track. Great, a table of contents. Phew, because I wasn't sure if I was going to get information, but now I know for sure. Here's where the information is, and I'll be able to find it by looking on these page numbers. An inclined plane is a simple machine. An inclined plane is a slope. An inclined plane definitely helps us do work, so we call it a simple machine, right along there with our wheels and axles. A force moves a load up an inclined plane, so often we have to push it up. So we've got our force being applied to the downward side and then pushing it up the inclined plane. An inclined plane makes work easier. Wow, could you imagine if he did not have this inclined plane, he would have to try and find a way to lift that heavy box from down here to up in the truck. But an inclined plane with a wheel and axle trolley makes it so much easier to get it up there without having to lift so much weight. Good one, inclined plane. Lifting a heavy load is hard. Ooh, on here we can see many wheels and axles. We can see the front wheel and axle, we can see the back wheel and axle, and we can see the gears, which has a wheel and axle, and also down here with the gears, another wheel and axle. So she's having to apply a lifting force. She's having to pull the bike up. Moving a heavy load up an inclined plane is easier. So now the curb going up onto the footpath or the sidewalk helps right there with an inclined plane, so she can just ride straight up rather than having to lift the heavy bike. Now she's got an inclined plane where she can just ride straight on up. A load can move down an inclined plane. So rather than riding down a steep step, now she can go down the inclined plane or ramp that takes her straight onto the street, making it much easier and safer. A ramp is an inclined plane. Yes, riding in a wheelchair is so much easier with inclined planes because if I had steps, that would be too tricky to get my wheelchair up and down. But with an inclined plane, I can go many different places with my wheelchair. They're more accessible. Stairs are an inclined plane, taking you from one level to another level. So it is a ramp, but I wouldn't be able to go up there very easily if it was smooth. So we make steps into the inclined plane so we can walk up and then walk down. Although it would be really fun if it was a slide, because then I could slide down to breakfast in the morning. That would be pretty cool. A slide is an inclined plane. And then there's our words to know, read more, and internet sites. So inclined planes are all around us. We just need to really look for them. So one of your jobs is going to be to look for inclined planes, but it's going to be in an unusual place. So scroll on down and find out what your assignment is for today.